All right, today we're doing two things. The first is we're going to talk about no match found. No match found in 2377. The second thing we're going to talk about is the match that we did find in my restart account, which is definitely an interesting matchup, and I've got some thoughts on how that's going to shape up. So we'll talk about that next, but first order of business. No match found. I've honestly lost track of this is like the second no match found or the first no match found we've had in the last month. But yeah, 2377 is trying to play KvK and the game's like no match found. Now, here's what I would say. You know what's worse than no match found? Is some stupid 3v1. You know what's worse than no match found? Okay? Is you get into a KvK and then, you know, people ally up to guarantee themselves the victory, which basically that's the story of my last two KvKs. So no match found is a way better outcome than like a really dumb performative KvK where we go through the motions, but everybody is checked out because we all know what is happening and has happened and will continue to happen. It's like, dude. So, yeah, I think this is a better outcome than a bad match, but it will be nice if we could get a match, and I think it's going to be really hard to match 2377 with anybody, honestly. I mean, we're going to have to jump through more hoops than frickin', I don't know, who jumps through hoops? We're going to have to jump through a lot of hoops to find a match. I don't know how we're going to do it. I do not know how we're going to do it. But we persist anyways. That means there is another window in which you can join 2377. 2377 continues to be one of those kingdoms that has an unbelievable amount of gold chests that rain down from the heavens. Also from, also known as Wild Lion and Mr. Hope. But honestly, there's a lot of people that drop a lot of goldies. So a lot of reason to be here if that's the sort of thing you're interested in. But, you know, obviously hunting gold chests alone is a shitty reason to go to a kingdom, and you'll find yourself without a home in short order if that's all you're here for. But one of a few perks of being in 2377 is you do get really great gold chest recovery. All right. Now, with that said, we did get a match in my restart kingdom, and it is a very interesting match. I mean, you know, my overall philosophy on matchmaking that I've been saying for years, and I'm like, people are like, Chisgule, we're just tired of hearing you say the equivalent of I told you so. But like, the devs, in my opinion, would get better matchmaking if they had pops less frequent, and those pops were pushing everybody into this sort of like a smaller number of pools where they could be queuing. I mean, obviously a bigger pool with more kingdoms all queuing at the same time means better matchmaking. Easy. Which brings us to the matchmaking we got here. Ooh, Storm of Stratagems. So we have a team in Storm of Stratagems, an A kingdom and a B kingdom. And here's our matchup. And we're in the upper left, and we're teamed together with bottom right and bottom middle. Okay. Now, if I get a look at this, there's probably kingdom numbers in here I should recognize. 2650 definitely seems familiar, but look, as cool as this view is, like, we need some data on this screen to make heads or tails of it. So let's go to the data that I've been provided that I think makes this kind of helpful to look at. All right. So as far as the overall balance of power goes, okay, my team is the bottom numbers here. The opposing team is the top numbers. We are KP matched, which is really interesting. I can't remember the last time I was in a KvK where allies concluded and it was KP matched. But what's different or weird is that the folks we're fighting against have lower power total to contribute and fewer troop losses, barely. We have more power by a not small amount. But what you notice almost immediately is that the bottom middle camp, and I can show you this in another view, but the bottom middle camp has very, very, very low KP. Like super, super low KP. Like if you look at this bottom row, okay, 3212 has 0.167 KP. and 0.104 KP. Like, that's not a misplaced decimal point. That is much, much, much lower KP. So you've basically got two war camps that have more KP with a lower KP camp and more total power versus a far more even distribution in the opposing side. Wacky. Let me show you on the map. All right, so here we are in ye old map. And, you know, we're these teams here. And immediately you can see one of these things is not like the others. You know, it's so funny. I keep referring back to my childhood with Sesame Street. I learned a valuable lesson. One of these things is not like the others. Folks, this KP number makes this war camp like way different than any of the other war camps. 1.36, 1.16, 1.031, 1.53, 0.325 trillion KP. So, I'm not being critical of my allies. I'm simply highlighting the difference between these war camps. It is wacky that matchmaking creates these situations, I feel, but the total KP actually evens out, which is kind of interesting. Now, I don't remember how this map works. Oh, thank God there's some YouTuber out there who makes videos about this shit. Otherwise, I'd never figure it out. Is this just a guess that I was doing? This must have just been a guess that I was doing or something. But this checks out. So each starting zone gets a zone 5 fight. Then you get a safe zone 6. And then it's a 3-way fight for zone 7s? And then it's Kingsland? Is this a hypothesis or is this how it actually works? What is this video? Storm of Stratagems time. I think I'm just guessing on this one. I don't know if this is right or not. Well, GG. If this is right, I mean, what a weird map. I did like Storm of Stratagems, though, in general, I think. Oh, no, wait. Storm of Stratagems. Oh, I'm going to like it because I don't have to choose between Rally, Garrison, and Open Field. But I really dislike when I have to choose between Competence and Rally Garrison and Competence and Open Field. That drives me insane. Yeah, and I did do a stratagem KvK recently, and I was driven insane. Okay. Ay. Well, whatever. I'm a fielder on this small account. It is what it is. It's going to be fine. So as far as readiness goes for this KvK, I'm at 111 million power. Commander-wise, I'm like really kind of chilling. In fact, maybe the way to show this is like with my open field combos. So let's see here. We get a look in. I'm still going to use Ragnar Skippy. I'm completely hamstrung and locked into leadership equipment with no choice but to do what I have to do. So I've got the BQ primary, or sorry, the Philip primary, BQ secondary with the leadership gear. And then I have the infantry Maharch, the William with Liu Che. Okay, and that is what it is. This is Echelon, that's Pincer, and then I have Wedge on the other one. And then this Cav March obviously is going to change. At this point, I'm just waiting as long as possible until we're actually like in the KvK. And at that point, I will max Achilles and put my money where my mouth is and use Arthur Achilles. And obviously the QSH and Zhuge Liang slaps. And this is a 5 March account. So I just run the 5 marches and I run them a lot. And I think that turned out to be a really good choice given that we're entering into a new tier of power level of marches. And this one march is 100 million times anything else I can do, except maybe the new calves. New calves could be pretty good. So, you know, my Cav stuff is currently on my Barb March. My Cav stuff is pretty decent on this account. Once again, soul crushing that I will need to dismantle this and feel like I committed to a collection and got wrecked for it. But I will have to dismantle that and make something else. We'll see when I actually go and pull the trigger on that, because I got plenty of other stuff to craft in the meantime. But, you know, something like this is more interesting in a world with combo anyways, more opportunities to trigger. But, you know, Mora's Web is a thing of the past in terms of its effectiveness. But, yeah, you know, my Cav March is in a decent spot. My armaments will be what? So I'm going to have to switch those over. What's it going to cost me? So it's going to run me 10 for this armament. And it's a pretty decent one, although I would really like to get that 1.7 up on the defense. And, you know, I made this armament before all damage became meta, so I got kind of cooked on that front. But whatever it is, what it is. Watchman Elite is a fine one to carry over. I mean, that's fine. I'll have to investigate to see, like, what else I might prefer to bring over, but, you know, we're looking at 10 here, 3 here, so that's 13. There's another 3, so we're 16. That's crucial to bring over, actually. Causative is, I think, what it becomes. Butterfly into the legendary tier, causative at the lower tier. Oh, and oh, 1 for this, so 17 total. Yeah, strategic slaps, bro. Damn, that's a good one. I got better armaments in my main account. Not really, but okay. Okay, do I have 17? Or am I just cooked? Am I dropping hundos? Am I dropping bills? Armaments. 17. Oh, Exaxes. Dude, we're going to be Exaxes on this? I ain't mad about it. That's crazy. That is crazy. We can open these up real quick. Wedge is what I've been working on, because Wedge used to be cool. But now it's not cool, so get wrecked, nerd. Just gonna have to pay the cost to switch whatever legendary and rares over. But for a time, if I get something good Wedge, I could probably find a use for it, you know, for a short time. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at. Oh, you know what else on this account? Let's see here. I do think that I can flip into a legendary over here. Yeah. So I could do more with my calves. We'll kind of see. But that's where we're at. So have a pretty cool KvK shaping up on the small account. And the big account, hey, we'll just see. We'll see. Something will happen at some point, and hopefully it'll be cool. Yeah, it is kind of wild. Like, obviously, I would like to use that legendary inscription on the calves. And this would be a really good armament to put it on, quite frankly. I mean, you could do better, but that's pretty damn good. I'd hate to overwrite strategic, though, because it's just so good for field already. But, you know, if we are going into Delta, which I also really hate to switch to Delta, and then I feel like the devs are going to put some new formation in, and it might just be better. That is like super tragic, but you know, I'm not going to play this KvK Wedge, I think. I don't know. But yeah, causative, like I was describing, that's really important. And I don't know. Even blue flags are like kind of legit on the Delta formation, which is kind of insane. Like blue flags are basically trash almost everywhere, but you could definitely make the argument here that it's got a roll. Do I have any? Let's see here. Let's sort by cavalry stats. Do I have anything I can do? This one obviously is real. Whoa. That dude, whoa. But too bad I only have one cav march. It doesn't do anything for me. This is like close to being interesting, but I don't think it's quite there. Look at that. 3.5 on the cav attack. Ooh. I mean, if I want to pay a more expensive price, I could re-roll this a shit ton and then move it over. Yeah, I don't know about that either. This one, I mean, I could re-roll this one a ton and get that one going over. That would give me bonus combo damage, right? And then, you know, scroll I don't need to do because that's already legendary. So we're chilling there. All right, well, I'll, you know, mess with this more on my own time, try to figure out what I want to do here. Definitely some potential, but this is why I kind of like save up these guys over here. I can't believe I have 9. That's nuts. But that's why I save them up. It's because like I burn through all these real fast. These transmutation stones, they're gonna evaporate. All right, you enjoy the vid, throw a like on here, subscribe. Should be a neat KvK coming up, and hopefully my main account gets a KvK soon. But I'm really glad they queued up at the same time. I am blessed they didn't make it at the same time. Someone who works at Lilith had my back. Not actually, that's just a joke. But like some angel had my back that both my accounts weren't in KvK at the same time. Actually, we could take no match found for as long as you want on my main account. It's fine. All right. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everybody.